Hi pals, it is me again, RT, they them pronouns. I wanted to just do something a little bit different today. I wanted to do something that was a bit more chill, a bit more jokey, not like, you know, something that's not super serious. I decided I would talk through my zodiac astrology chart thing. In case you didn't know, I am a Libra sun and moon and a Cancer rising, and then like a bunch of Scorpio in a lot of places, with like a little splash of Pisces and Leo, and you know, it's an interesting one, babes. But yeah, I wanted to just go through it, have a laugh, joke about my trauma, and also like just have a little bit of a joke about being ADHD autistic as well. And like, you know, because I'm not gonna lie, reading through the like Astro Cafe or whatever site I use sounds a little bit autistic and ADHD, so I just thought it'd be funny. Also, hi. My hair is very alive today. Okay, I will also try and show some of the charts and stuff here so you can actually see the things. Once we get past like the top 6 planets, into the other planets and into houses and shit, that's where I start to get lost, and don't have any idea what's happening anymore. So I'm just gonna read what Astro Cafe basically gave to me, but picking out particular areas that I think are funny. Okay, so let's start with the sun. Obviously represents vitality. Love that I know what that word means. Yeah, definitely. A sense of individuality and outward shining creative energy vibes. So because I am a Libra sun, Libra natives are generally thought to be sociable, and somewhat intellectual souls. Thanks. They have an almost innocent way about them that makes them very approachable. And that was like flag number 1. Autism, hello? I have been caught and called naive and gullible many a time. So much so that I am now just so paranoid that everyone is trying to make fun of me. So Librans spend a lot of their time trying not to rock the boat. Sounds like a trauma response, babes. Sounds like child of divorced parents. Libras are peace-loving. Sounds like sensory overwhelm, babes. Feel particularly called out. In this section, they can quietly stir up all sorts of trouble with their ways. Sounds like the BPD and the ADHD coming in, like. Also sounds like the autistic way of just not being able to adjust to change. Because Libras enjoy balance in their lives, they seek the middle ground.
In the process, they may end up trying to be everything to everyone.
Oh, you mean masking? You mean autistic masking? You mean trauma? Then there's like a whole paragraph about me being a liar. I'm like, sick. Yeah, and being like on the fence with things, which I don't vibe with any of those typical Libra things particularly. I feel like maybe more so when I was younger, but isn't that kind of the vibe of astrology anyway? That, you know, as like when you're first sort of born, you're basically your sun sign through and through, and then as you get older, the other parts of the planets and other shit that I do not understand do things, inform your personality in your life, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about like their lack of directness and inability to take a stand. I'm like, babes, I'm kind of the opposite of that. But I do feel like that was maybe accurate when I was a child. Librans are known for comparing and thinking in relative terms instead of in absolutes. This weekend is not just a good weekend, it's better than last weekend. That sounds very autistic to me as well, because one of my ways I describe how I ended up working out what pains are what pains is just because I've experienced so many of the pains that I can now compare them with each other when it comes to my chronic illness and disabilities. And that seems to be an autistic trait of if you don't have an experience to compare it to, it's difficult to really measure it in terms of like impact and emotional.
I don't even know what I'm saying. Hello?
Harmony is the ultimate goal, but their idealism and high expectations can mean plenty of discontent. And I think that's just where it's like, hey, commune. It's just, yeah, harmony is the ultimate goal, and I absolutely do live with an idealised hope for my future. They have a great need to be part of a group. Commune. Except also absolutely not. I think yes, generally, because I like the idea and understanding and support that is in like groups versus being alone. But I also really like to be alone. Then there was this one bit that just was very disgusting. They are level-headed and assimilate quickly, and I was just like, ooh.
Ooh. Disgusting.
Again, a thing that I think maybe was more true when I was a child. The assimilating quickly. If anything, I am the absolute opposite of assimilation. In all contexts, the word assimilation sucks. I do not want to assimilate anywhere. Disgusting. Weaknesses: may not think enough. ADHD. And also, I love that they literally just get out the fucking thesaurus for these things, because what the fuck is a dilettante? Dilettante. That's the dyslexia coming out, fucking hell. Dilettante in love. I don't remember what that means. I thought I made notes on that, but apparently I didn't. Dilettante. A person who cultivates an area of interest such as the arts without real commitment or knowledge. Oh, okay. Yeah. The interest in love with no commitment capabilities. Absolute fucking vibe. Yeah, where do I even start with that one? How about the bisexual that I am, of like, I really, at this point, being nearly single for 4 years, cannot comprehend picking a singular person, but I'm not sure if I'm polyamorous, you know? We're kind of in that discovery period of my life, but I'm also on the ace spectrum. You know, the walking contradictions thing just kind of comes back every single fucking time. But also, like, absolutely trauma, BPD, avoidant attachment moods. You know, I have the idealised version in my mind, and nothing ever lives up to it. And I'm just not okay with that, you know? Okay, so we are on to... God, I don't even fucking know. Apparently my sun is in the 4th house, whatever that means. I invest much of my pride and energy into my personal and private life, my home and my family. Okay, privacy is important to me. Yes, accurate, even though I'm
on the internet, oversharing every day.
But, you know, I think that's the ADHD autistic combo again. And this is where I always just keep getting confused with these Astro Cafe things, because I don't know what 255 conjunction between the sun and moon is, but apparently I have a stronger sense of purpose and appreciation of harmony than most people, which I do agree with. I know that generally my sense of purpose is
to take down the government and destroy capitalism,
but just don't know how to get there. Don't know how to do that. Generally helping people and making it better to live here is sort of the gist of my life goals. You must be encouraged to question life, or you run the risk of taking things for granted, which I just think is an absolute ADHD autistic and chronic illness vibe of like, hey, here's a bunch of shit. Think about that. Vitality is usually good and quite constant, and vitality is the state of being strong and active. Okay, I think yes, generally I have built up a constant sense of vitality, if that's probably not how you use the word, me being dyslexic as per, but yes, I do feel like probably since my last suicide attempt of like, I have had a very strong sense of sustaining myself and battling with those kinds of emotions and feelings all this time. So yeah, I guess babes usually get on well with their parents and guardians. I would like to say yes. But also the pandemic has done nobody any justice in this area. So yes, question mark. Me and my mum are still good though. We're still busy mates. And then it's -9 square between the Sun and Ascendant, whatever that means. They may face conflicts in life due to a projection of character that does not match what is on the inside. And I was just like,
Oh, oh my god.
I felt so personally attacked by this. Part of it, yeah, absolutely. Fucking masked my ass off for most of my life because of autism and BPD. So yes, and then also it merged into the wait, which are these? Is this me? Is this me? I think it's kind of me, but just a certain projection of me. Yeah, it's caused me a few life crises, to be honest. So now we move on to the moon. My moon is in Libra, as I've said. Represents the emotional response, unconscious predestination, and self-image. Represents emotions. Shows how a person expresses themselves when at home, at ease and comfortable. These are the people who seem to always need to have someone to tag along with them wherever they go. I definitely experience benefits from body doubling for a start. So like sometimes just doing a thing with somebody else tagging along has always just been one of my favourite things to do. And then also like with something that I am still kind of processing and learning more about is like my selective mutism, or I don't know whether there's another way of saying that, because it's not like I choose to be fucking mute or become unspeaking with my autism. But that's also been like a really, really big thing for me, that very situational time make an impact on when I am more likely to be mute. Like first thing in the morning, do not talk to me. It is really difficult to converse first thing in the morning for me. Also with certain people, like I can usually say hello, good morning, whatever to my mum first thing. That's okay. Or like I can have a conversation with my friends if I'm at a pub or, you know, somewhere where you eat food. But I really struggle to order the food. So someone else got to do it. You know, basically, I'm just saying, yes, I relate to it. They find strength and reinforcement in and through others. Yes, the ADHD urge to do nothing unless others are around for body doubling purposes. When I went to university, that was sort of the main space I started learning and understanding this, both for like really boring chores and doing like coursework and stuff. Although I do actually really enjoy spending time on my own, just like getting boring stuff done, going shopping, in town if I can just sort of walk around and have no like pressing things to do. I really like just doing stuff by myself silently, listening to music, stimming along to my music, my dude. But sometimes that is next to impossible because of the ADHD. You know, it's one of those things of just like constant fluctuation of the complete opposites of my being. So it's good to know that my stars predicted this. Thank you very much. Moon in Libra simply can't help but see flaws in their environment and their relationships. That sounds very autistic to me. I feel like seeing the smaller details that a lot of other people don't see is a very big autistic thing. So yeah.
Absolutely wrecked, mate.
Moon in 4th house, same. They like family life, peace and quiet. They like to stay at home, surrounded by loved ones in agreeable circumstances, strongly influenced by the mother. Yes, very autistic and chronically ill life as fuck. And I just find that strongly influenced by the mother thing really funny, because me and my mum are very similar. We look very similar. We have a lot of similar wants and wishes of just like, we would just like to just chill out, you know? We don't want to keep our nose on the grind. Capitalism is just not in our hearts and souls. We just want to do nice, fulfilling things, which working jobs in capitalism doesn't really allow for, especially when you are multiply disabled like me, my mum. You just don't have any energy after working like 9 hours a day. Right, you might change residence frequently or simply feel the need to make many changes in your home. Moving frequently may be a healthy thing if it keeps you emotionally stimulated, but if you find that you do so on whims and later regret the changes, you might want to treat it as a symptom of emotional unrest.
Sounds very BPD and ADHD to me.
As a sign that you are in constant search for the perfect mood and setting, when in fact a feeling of belonging should be worked on from the inside out, not the outside in. And yeah, it took a while to get there, but that last line, absolute fucking vibe. I haven't really moved around a lot. I moved every year for uni, but it's kind of pretty common. A lot of people have to do that. But like this general idea of like trying to find the perfect atmosphere to live in, the perfect circumstance, just doesn't exist to me. Like I love the idea, and I loved it when I lived near university, where you literally walk 5 minutes and can get on a bus anywhere, any day, any time of the day, and you could still get home past midnight, no problems, and you'd be like five-minute walk away from your house when you get off the bus stop, or you can get a train all the way home or all the way into Central, or you know, other places in London or outside of London, and you could either hop on the bus to get to the high street or you could walk 10 to 15 minutes. Like I love that so much, but also I don't like people very much. Obviously, we've talked about this quite a lot. I don't really like neighbours. I don't really like the noise of neighbours. And I really like a lot of things about being very rural like here. Like there's just I really enjoy the nature around here, all the beautiful flowers, the animals. Like we have this beautiful like 20+ herd of deer that just hang out in our fucking back garden, mate. You know, it's a really wonderful place for dogs to be. It's a great place for kids to grow up. Like I have a lot of really fond memories of being outside when I was like a young teenager here, and there is a lot of like a sense of privacy. Like, you know, I think it would be really difficult for me to ever really pick one particular place, which is also why I've kind of come to this commune idea, because this place would be really great to create a commune, a mini community, with the same sort of feeling as what I had when I was at university, to cultivate a bunch of people I know and like to live in the same area, and support each other as we age. So, and if I just so happen to win the lottery, I can build my house from nothing. So in my dreams, realistically probably not, but like in my dreams, I would have full creative control over what my house would actually end up being like, which makes me feel a bit better about it. And now we have Mercury in Scorpio. Mercury represents communication. Cartesian and logical spirit. Sounds autistic to me. They are extremely observant and astute, always reading between the lines and looking for the real meaning behind things. Sounds very autistic and BPD to me, love. Yeah, got me. Mercury in the 5th house. You tend to use your voice, whether written or spoken, as a means of creative self-expression. Well, I did say I was going to be called out today, so here we are. You love tricks, jokes, plays on words, and mimicry. You might be skilled at impersonations. And yes, actually, something that I don't really talk about much online, but yes, I don't talk about it very often because like my actual impersonations of, I don't know, like celebrities and stuff is not really me, not really my vibe. It's normally people I know in my personal life, which is why it's so funny, is the really like it's the subtleties of things that make the impersonation. So only like if you know the people in real life can you kind of appreciate it. But also generally mimicry is I think ADHD and autistic. I see a lot about people either with one or both picking up other people's accents, which is also a big mood. I mean, a lot of this video has been me using my acquired Essex accent. I'm not from Essex. I don't know why I go into it. It's been happening since some point in university. I don't know, babes, but yeah, feel really called out. Communication and intellectual rapport is most attractive to you when it comes to romance. Also accurate. Physical aesthetics are important to me too, but like, if you have a really stinky personality, then you are also stinky and I don't like it. Oh my god, and the next sentence is said, in some cases, this can indicate more than one lover at once. Yeah, I feel like both of those little sentences there are definitely with my like asexual arse, and a little hint of the polyamory there too. Like I talked about on the podcast Genderfuck a little bit about this actually. Like if there was an ideal situation, I sort of talked briefly about what that would be for me, but there are just so many layers to dating people that it is generally kind of impossible to ever reach this like ideal kind of agreement slash situation when it comes to romantic relationships. So yeah, check that out as well, by the way. Another thing that I don't understand, the -17 square between Mercury and Mars. They often act without thinking. Yeah, the ADHD and the traumatized BPD side of me. They are nervous and sometimes irascible, what the fuck is that, having or showing tendency to be easily angered. Yes, babes. I really don't have anything else to say on that one. Yes. 101 trine between Mercury and Saturn. They are precise or strive to be mentally organised. I do my best.
I do my best, babe. I really do my best. Doesn't really work, but I try.
They make time to get communications just so and prefer step-by-step directions. And that one, my note for this one says dead, D-E-D. Because yeah, like I think being autistic has led to so many problems with communicating, full stop. End of sentence, new paragraph. And I've talked about in my communications video, one, that communication and communicating in all its forms is a special interest of mine, but also like the different modes of communication and how I use them. So yeah, absolute fucking vibe, mate.
Doing it again, I'm really sorry.
Venus in Scorpio, their appeal lies in their focus on you and their dedication. Sounds like the ADHD tendency to hyperfixate on a new relationship. Venus represents an interest in emotions and values, exchange and sharing with others. Okay, there is some more that I have highlighted. When you've upset... oh no. When you've upset these lovers, you'll know it. Depending on the moment, Venus in Scorpio will shoot you one of the most piercing glares around or totally blow up. Both extremely accurate. Definitely that ADHD autism combo, because the emotional dysregulation that comes with ADHD for me always tends to err on the side of explosive anger. You may find their conclusions about you seem skewed and mistrustful, and that's going back to one of the like very beginning points about being seen as very innocent. Yeah, because I've been taken advantage of so many times in my whole life that I'm now just constantly mistrustful of most people. I'm always waiting, I don't know, for me to prove myself correct about people, which is also a very BPD trait because trauma, trust issues. The partner needs to be able to match their level, which is absolutely accurate. I think that's another thing I mentioned in this podcast. Is one of the reasons I kind of stopped bothering with dating apps is because either people were coming on way too strong, which is too much for my like asexual self. I'm like, what? Okay, please stop. I just want to know a bit about you, you know. But then the opposite of that is just not receiving any energy back from the people, and I get fucking bored. So the ADHD is like, okay, bye. I'm just done, had enough. Venus in the 5th house. this is sad. They want to succeed more than almost anything in their love life, which is like, yeah, accurate. But also I think just, I think my perception of success now is very different to when it used to be. What it used to be, same. Why can't I say words? Yeah, you know. Then there's a couple of other things on here that I don't want to talk about. But you are a warm, fun and playful date, which I will agree with, because ADHD makes me really fun when you first meet me. And so is ingesting alcohol. 29 sextile between Venus and Neptune. Their professional life can be creative or inconstant. How are those things related? They have a taste for the arts and can be a dreamer. Oui. They are emotional and very sensitive. Oui. Accurate. Your imagination is rich and your fantasy world well developed. Yes. You're turned off by rudeness and crudeness. I'm going to remove rudeness because I don't really use the term rude very often, because it's always used against me for my autistic traits. I will very rarely use the term rude to describe anything, but I will go with crudeness. Yeah. Sex jokes are definitely the least funny jokes to me, and so are like other maybe kind of gross topics. I know I make a lot of jokes when it comes to Crohn stuff. That's a little bit different. There's a bit more to those jokes than just ha poo. Minus 62 opposition between Venus and Lilith. There can be difficulties expressing the feelings consistently. There can be difficulties expressing the feelings consistently, and this baffles others. Hello, selective mutism and just the funness that is being autistic. Of a brooding nature, with intense moments that they find difficult to accept or own, which can cause disruptions in relationships. Yes, probably. That's why I've stayed single. So we're on to Mars, which represents a desire for action and physical energy. Mine is in Leo. Might also make me being here have more sense. This position of Mars gives a drive for significance. I just want to be significant. Mars in Leo individuals possess a strong need to create in some way, yet very. Mars in Leo people will enjoy the pleasures of risk-taking. Sounds very ADHD BBT to me. Generally, they have strong sense of reason at the end of the day, yet that then also just sounds autistic. Impatient with small-minded and... Oh my god! Impatient with small-mindedness and disloyalty. Mars in Leo generally have a strong idealistic streak. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about idealism in my chart. I'm like, yes, thank you. You see me. But yeah, impatient with small-mindedness and disloyalty. Like, I do not understand cheating on people, full stop. And then like, yeah, the small-mindedness. It's 2022 and I just generally struggle to understand how people have not, with the access that we have to information, no. And then I just like this little light last bit. The most sophisticated people with this position are kindly leaders. I have been told that I would be a good politician, as in like a politician people would want. And whilst I wish I had any understanding of politics really at all, that probably won't happen, but I absolutely would love to do that. Whatever that is, I've already forgotten what I'm saying. Mars in the first house. They get carried away a lot. They are provocative, impulsive, dynamic and bold. Great spirit of enterprise.
Do you mean for enterprise?
And they have a great need for activity and may throw themselves into projects without thinking of the consequences or possible setbacks. Yes, that is the ADHD. Usually direct and straightforward. That's the autism. Minus 25 opposition between Mars and Uranus. They are full of contradictions. Like, this feels very validating that it's something that I've been battling with my whole fucking life, and oh wait, here we fucking are. They are full of contradictions. Erratic energy levels. We love the chronic illness, life, love. You know, yeah. I think a really big part of like loving and accepting myself is loving and accepting the fact that I am just constantly walking contradictions. And that's it. That's who I am. Everything I am is a fluctuating mess. You are generally confident about your own talents. Yeah. You employ strategy when you are going after something, and you are very talented at this. Oh, thank you very much. Saving time and energy. I do my best. I am chronically ill. I do not have that much time or energy. So you've got to be strategic to do anything. You are naturally very resourceful and usually quite persistent when pursuing a goal.
A growl? A growl?
Yes, we'll agree. You are a wonderful person to be around when there's a crisis. Thank you. Yeah, true. Accurate. I think that's something that's been talked about quite a lot with ADHDers. That actually in crisis, in like panic mode, is like when ADHDers are most calm and most precise. So yeah, definitely. Very little phases you. Also, yes, I feel like that's generally quite an ADHD autistic thing. You are especially effective when circumstances call for a leader. Yeah, I do tend to accidentally fall into leadership roles when I don't want them. That happened a lot with university, where like I wanted stuff to be happening and working and all that sort of thing, but nobody else wanted to put in the same energy as me. So yes, and again, it kind of goes back to some of the other points made in this video of like, sometimes I see a lot of the flaws in a thing, and my idealized sort of vision of stuff all impacts each other. Right, Jupiter is in Scorpio. Science and research may be a prosperous avenue. Yeah, I have found actually that science and research are very fascinating to me. And I would like to try and make more videos on those things down the line. I do a little bit here and there, but mainly based in my like personal experience. But yeah, if you would like to see more videos of me talking through like science stuff that I think is interesting, and maybe some of my theories for those things, let me know, because I have many theories, but I just don't understand the actual science of stuff. And I'm doing a botched job of translating into plain language. Jupiter is in the 5th house as well. They like games and distractions. Yes, that's how I've managed to get through most of my life, is by just dissociating the whole way through, and never being left alone in the quiet. -53 opposition between Jupiter and Lilith. They may run the risk of ruining themselves in order to please their partner. There can be disappointments in love until moderation is practiced. Okay, I don't know what moderation is. Hello, serial monogamist to serially single for 4 years. Hello? No.
Moderation?
Saturn is the contraction and effort, whatever that means. My Saturn is in Pisces. Misanthropic with a sullen humour. Sullen humour is accurate as fuck. Misanthropic is having or showing a dislike of other people, i.e. unsociable. Dead. Screaming. Absolutely. They like to live in solitude. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. The battle between loving to be alone by myself and just not being capable of taking care of myself 24/7. Yeah. Fun. Preferring to work alone. Yeah. May be suspicious of the intention of others, religions and faith. Yeah, we've already kind of talked about that. I just think it's funny when the same things keep popping up. May suspect that others' innocence or compassion is insincere. Yeah, again, talked about that. Feet and ankles may need extra attention. I used to roll my ankles constantly when I was growing up, and I do get feet pain, so that one bothers me a lot. It's like some of the other books and stuff I used to read on astrology before the internet was like quite as the space it is. Apparently Libra rules the kidneys, and that's why I was in hospital a lot as a child. I had fucked up kidneys, or like a fucked up kidney, that I was in hospital a lot because of my kidneys. Very bizarre. And I think there's somewhere else in here that talks about the throat.
Uranus.
Individual liberty and egotistic liberty. Okay. Mine is in Capricorn. They can have some problems accessing their intuition, since common sense often dominates. Yeah, I mean, I think I have had a lot of problems accessing my intuition again, since I've always been told my entire life that my intuition is always wrong because I'm autistic. And now I just find out, oh no, I was autistic and actually I was right in all of these situations. But also I have a very different kind of common sense than most people do. My common sense is more logical than neurotypical and general society's common sense, which goes back to a lot of things I've already talked about in this video too. May question traditions and can be very open to redefining the meaning of success and to changing up traditional approaches to career and status. Yes, and I think that is a very ADHD autistic thing. Uranus is in the 7th house. They reject traditional roles in partnership, or they are attracted to or attract unconventional people as partners. Accurate. All of that, yeah. Retweet. 164 conjunction between Uranus and Neptune. They can be wildly creative with an odd but happy sense of humour and perspective. Again, I feel like this is one of those contradictions, because just now we were talking about me being unsociable and hating people and being very sullen, and then now it's like I've got an odd but happy sense of humour and perspective, which I do agree with. I do have a odd, happy perspective, just in an untraditional way. Then we've got the 26 sextile between Uranus and Pluto. They fight to improve their daily life, and they are persevering. There is no note on that one. I just highlighted it. Then -20 opposition between Uranus and Ascendant. They are inconstant, sometimes lacking control, and can be unsettled or nervous. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just saying the same things as a lot of this other stuff I said. There are some other things I didn't really care to highlight very much. Neptune in the 7th house. Pluto is in Scorpio. So Pluto represents transformation, mutation, and elimination. And it's just straight up like,
fear of betrayal. Fear of betrayal.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, yeah, okay, yes, my biggest fear is the people that I care about and trust most turn out to be disloyal and liars and being alone. Then we have Lilith, which is Black Moon Lilith, represents the darker, deeper natures that may be repressed or buried. My Lilith is in Taurus. Perhaps they were penalised or criticised for being slow. Wow, okay. They can have a hard time feeling truly satisfied or sated, but can also fear the state of wanting. Perhaps they were penalised or criticised for being slow, savouring things, or enjoying and indulging themselves. Yeah, all of the above.
Retweet.
What the fuck? That one really hurt my feelings. Yeah, criticised for being slow learner. Criticised for savouring, enjoying and indulging things and myself. Food, always, and like anything else, anything that I enjoyed and indulged myself with was often like picked apart by other people. Yes, and I feel like really quite personally attacked by that one. Then we have the true North Node, whatever that is, in Scorpio. They are learning to be less self-reliant and set in their ways. As the path to greater success and satisfaction is to share the load from time to time. Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to build this commune idea, because like I need to accept the fact that I cannot do a lot of stuff by myself. That's not bad. And then qualities to develop: courage to make change, going all in, sharing, and intimacy. Yeah, because I'm not very good at any of those things. What is more ADHD than getting distracted by TikTok in the middle of filming? Pardon me. Okay, now we're on the Ascendant in Cancer. Cancer Ascendant people are looking for structure and security in their partner and their relationship. For God's sake. Many Cancer ascendants prefer it when their relationship has well-defined rules. Yes, accurate. Which is why polyamory has also never really been broached in my space before, because I like very specific rules to understand what is and is not within boundaries. But also, I mean, that's just the issue I've had in a lot of relationships anyway. It's like, oh, hey, actually, we never talked about this, so I don't know what I'm doing, what to do, Financial success will be very easy thanks to the support of influential people. I mean, that'd be nice, thanks. That'd be nice. Tendency to spend more than what is earned. Tag my ADHD and BPD next time. Wow. Weak point is, oh my god, okay, here is another one. This was actual, like a genuine assault on on my being. The weak point being my circulation. My vasculitis is screaming right now. I've never seen that come up before in any of my like old research from when I was younger or any point. Like, no, I have never seen that before. But now I have fucking Takayasu's. I have the pulseless disease. Wow. Actually fucking assaulted. This was a very weird thing that I did not understand. My note on here is just a bunch of question marks. 8th house is the area of emotional security and of security of the soul. And I have Aquarius in the 8th house. And it just says an unexpected inheritance. If anyone knows what that means, please tell me. I have some suspicions, based on people I know who are Aquarius suns, for example, and where I might get an unexpected inheritance from. But yes, I would, if anybody knows more about that, do tell. And then and I'm also Aquarius in the 9th house. Is the area of learning that shapes the identity. I'm very innovative and original. I like travel, communicating with different people, and long research, which feels very accurate to me. The 10th house, I have Pisces. The midheaven represents the work one will do in one's life and the place one will take in the world of society. Oh my god, the ones and ones. It becomes more important as one grows older. Professional success in solitary professions. So yeah, more alone time. They've got things like archivist, librarian, historian, etc. So yeah, generally, the idea is that the majority of my day job would be me alone, but also with the ability to research things for long periods of time and communicate with lots of different kinds of people. Yeah, pardon me. Okay, so the 11th house is the area of search for social and intellectual security. I've got Aries in the 11th house. Are we good? They like to be surrounded by friends, full of vigor, solid spirited. They carry out everything they take on. That last one's questionable, but okay. And then the 12th house is the area of education and of emotion. This is where we meet our karma, deal with endings, and sometimes where we bury things. And my 12th house is in Gemini. And again, my note for this was just a bunch of question marks, because it just says anxiety, preoccupation concerning a dear one. So this is where we meet our karma and deal with endings. And where we bury things.
I don't know what that means.
Too autistic. I don't know. Don't understand. Not straightforward enough for me. So if you know what that means, let me know. If anybody who is into astrology, or, you know, is an autistic with a special interest of astrology, and can or would like to explain any of these bits a little bit more. Obviously I didn't read the entire thing, I was just kind of reading bits out that I thought was particularly funny, relating to a lot of things I've learned about myself over the years. There's a lot of things in there that either are no longer true but were true to a past version of myself, or things that I felt were maybe a little bit too personal, or things I just didn't quite understand. So yeah, again, I will show the chart and all of the things in case there were some that I maybe didn't actually mention, because I just, like I said, didn't want to talk through them all or even highlight any particular parts of other sections. I love astrology. I love learning about astrology and learning about myself. Myself is my biggest special interest. Pretty common as an ADHD autistic, to be honest, just being very self-obsessed. But I love hearing about astrology, and I also just love people talking about things that they have a really invested interest in. So if you need a moment, if you would really like to take a second to talk about some astrology stuff that you think is really cool, do that in the comments. I absolutely love and would really welcome that, whether it's to do with me or just your fun and fascination with astrology in general. Go for it. I find it very interesting as well, but also I think it's fun to info dump of special interests. So here is your okay go. Here is your sign. Play on words. Sign. Star signs. Astrologies. Here is your sign that if you have a special interest in astrology, info dump in the comments all you like. Also, it helps the algo anyway, so two birds, one stone. Leave a like on the video. Algo helps out. Let me know what you think in the comments as well, if you don't have a special interest in astrology. If you thought this was a fun video, let me know, because I have a lot of books that I used to read a lot when I was younger. And it would be quite fun to go through them all again and maybe discuss the things that I used to relate to, maybe do or don't now, and what I do now relate to, and what I understand more now, blah blah blah, stuff like that, but in sort of like a casual, fun, joking about trauma kind of way. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to come back and see my face, sorry, that's just a thing that I do. For some reason, whenever my dog's just being cute, me and my mum just go, oh, look at her face. Look at her face. The face. So like, every time I say the word face now is just basically an oral stim of some kind where it's a face. I don't know. I'm definitely a very like vocal stimmer and ADHD fidgeter, to be honest. I never knew this, but it makes so much sense. But yeah, I thought it was just like a fun video to just like chill out and laugh about some stuff for a second, allow you guys to get to know me in some other ways that I may not have talked about in another capacity, that also isn't maybe like too deep, you know. A lot of my videos can get deep and heavy, so this was just kind of meant to be like a fun way of letting you guys in on some stuff about me. Did that make sense? No idea. That's all I've got for you this week. I'll see you next week. Bye.